begun!
Welcome to the CTB show. Today is something of a glimpse of the end of the apocalypse. The weather is, well, maybe a little too warm. This sticker is a Robot Cop Natty Bow style. Welcome to the show!
Robot Cop. Is that what he's called, Robot
Cop? Shut up! My name is Evan the Mayor. That is Brian the Levy.
I think in this momentum occasion, I look over the last 4 years, and I just think all those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain.
Tears in the rain. And that is Casey to Kasem.
Come on down.
Okay. I like it. If you would like to add to the repertoire of the Casey Bot 5000, please suggest slogans on the CTB Fam Zone Extreme.
So far, no suggestions.
Mine was literally said by a robot.
Yeah, sorry. I meant to say RoboCop. Oh, damn these virtual backgrounds.
Do you kids want to go to the movies and see the new one with the Robot Cop?
Robot Cop.
I remember the 1980s. There were Robot Cops. There were Frederick Krugers. There were all kinds of different... There were Jason Voorheeses.
The Ghost Boosters.
They were all about boosting the ghosts. Let me tell you about my favorite monsters, the Gremlins.
All right, no top of the show plugs this week. I just want to get straight to the meat and potatoes. Absolutely nothing happened in this past week, as we mentioned.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. As we mentioned last week, we were all going to do certain things on the election day, and now it's been election day for 6 days. But as of 8-ish last night, the announcement was made that Joe Biden is going to be president.
In the morning.
Sweet, I guess. But yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the AP announcement. So this will very smoothly go into our Well, It's Been segment, because now we get to ask each other, hey, what were you doing when the announcement was made? Brian, were you jerking it?
You know what? I was going to say that. There's a pretty solid chance at any given national moment in time that I will be masturbating. Our planes hitting the World Trade Center. Chances are, dick in hand. Is Osama bin Laden getting shot in a cul-de-sac in Pakistan?
Hole.
Dick in hand. Is Saddam Hussein being found in the spider hole? Chances are, thumb up ass, dick in hand. Mm-hmm. But no, this time I was picking up a bookshelf for my new room.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You mentioned you found a bookshelf at the Walmart.
I got one from Walmart today. Yesterday, I got one off of Facebook Marketplace. Is now a good time to talk about Facebook Marketplace?
No.
Something I didn't bring up in our pre-show meeting.
We'll get to that in a moment. I want to get through all of the Well, It's Beens. Yeah. We didn't do jack shit on Friday night, and then Saturday I'm just sitting in the living room like making coffee and got the AP alert on the old phone, and immediately grabbed a beer, walked upstairs, cracked it in front of Hannah the Miller, and I said, "It happened." I'm holding
virtual beer.
You said, "Don't just stare at it, Sabrina. Joe Biden is president."
That's right. Yeah. And then proceeded to party for the whole day. It was a good day. It was a fun little day.
I will tell you, the Giant was empty all day Saturday, and I like to think that it's because of scared white Hamdenites who did not want to leave their house for fear of being BLM to death or something.
Yeah. There at times there's very little difference between white suburbanites and white Hamdenites.
No, it just tends to be were their fathers management at the steel plant, or were they on the floor at Bethlehem Steel?
Right. Yeah.
Were they white collar Domino Sugar employees, or were they blue collar Domino Sugar employees?
There certainly is a lot of fear of the BLM movement amongst the blue collar set. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into that because we have to talk about the election. Obviously,
those murderous whites.
Those murderous whites. We have to talk about the election. We also have to talk about what's going on in Baltimore City because some COVID shit is going on. Some fuckery is happening. And
some what? Wait, what is it?
I'm sorry?
What kind of shit?
Some fuckery?
No. What kind of shit is going on?
Some COVID shit?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah. Right. I forgot. I mean, some bullshit, fake shit, scam-demic.
Some liberal lies.
Some liberal Democratic hoax is going on in the city of Baltimore.
It's after the election, Evan. It's gone.
Well, I mean, I heard it was gone, but apparently the guy that's still the mayor but is outbound didn't get the memo. So
didn't my president promise us a vaccine around the time of the election?
Yes.
Did that happen?
Look, Brian, it's in the stockpile, okay? It's in the national stockpile. The Dems are holding it up, okay?
Wow.
They are in control of everything. I don't know if you know this, but all the George Soros has cloned himself, and he's spending billions of dollars to rig the election and also stockpile all these vaccines, but only for Dems.
I heard that George Soros is actually Ray's grandfather.
Holy shit.
Is that true? That was a joke only for Casey.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You are welcome. Hey, guys, remember, Star Wars sucks.
Yeah. All right, so we might as well
what'd you say?
Get to the topics of the day. At the aforementioned COVID stuff in Baltimore City because people don't know how to act. Jack Young, who is the lame duck mayor now, has implemented a Phase 1 modified strategy, which essentially says that all indoor seating needs to be capped at 25% at bars and restaurants, but if you are a bar that does not serve food, you must shut down completely. I would like to say to Jack Young, fuck you very much, because there are lots of bars in this city that don't serve food, and there is no legal way for them to do so unless they get, say, a basket license or a hot dog cart or something like that and have it set up inside. I don't know. It's essentially giving a huge middle finger to these bars that have been already completely screwed for the last 7 to 8 months.
I think there were two specific bars mentioned on Halloween, the Charles and Banditos, which they got shut down.
Yes.
But that being said, they got shut down for 2 weeks. They're still going to be able to reopen and keep doing their thing.
Yes.
Under these new guidelines, whereas places like you specifically have mentioned in our chats, the lovely Idle Hour.
Yes. Idle Hour, but also
just got back on its feet.
Club Charles, Mount Royal Tavern, all sorts of bars in the area that don't serve food are going to be screwed because of these other bars where the management and or the people that go there are absolutely fucking irresponsible.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can we name Mount Royal Tavern a historic place that can never close?
I think we should. I think it should be propped up by tax funding.
Brian, I heard that all you have to do is just declare it, and you're good.
You know what, Casey? You're right. For alcohol purposes, I declare Mount Royal Tavern. I declare a victory over Mount Royal Tavern.
Yeah, a national monument now. It is now managed by the federal government.
It is. Somebody send Ranger Rick over there or some shit. Oh. Just have him stand outside in a fucking hat.
Isn't Ranger Rick a raccoon?
He might be, yes.
I think he is.
I don't know. We just started getting them, so I can check.
Did you really?
Casey.
Yeah.
Casey. I think that we should definitely next time we're watching commercials and a Zoo Books ad comes up, we definitely got to remember to see if Zoo Books. What about Casey for $15.95 a month? Someone will send you 3 very high class, very glossy cardboard pictures of animals.
Yeah,
I remember those.
And for free, this professional looking carrying case for your cardboard pictures of animals.
Mm-hmm. I recall not getting that when I was a kid and being very upset.
Oh,
okay. Dude. This is obviously very much not the topic. What was the one thing that your parents didn't get you? Conversely, what was that one thing that they did get you? I have always said my answer is, for some reason, we had a Mortimer J marker from Picture Pages in my house. How I convinced my parents to send away for that shit? I don't know.
Do you still have the marker?
No, not at all. Oh. I mean, I'm saying I don't think that marker made it to 1993. You know, like that shit was gone by December 31st, 1989.
Is it too late for us to reboot Picture Pages without Bill Cosby? Like, I don't know, some other black guy.
I don't think Anthony Anderson's doing anything. Like, you know, like, I mean, you know, Pharrell, I'm sure would love to do.
Oh yeah, Pharrell or what's his face? John Legend.
John Legend. I mean, it's a shame Quibi never branched out into children's programming before it died, because I think Picture Pages would be perfect.
Agreed. I do agree.
Who would be the new host of not Win, Lose, or Draw? Finders Keepers.
Finders Keepers?
What would like
Leslie Jones? Just put her on everything.
Put her on everything. She's delightful. Supermarket Sweep is wonderful. Thank you.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Very good. Getting back to this Baltimore thing. I'm livid.
Oh, right, that.
I'm very livid that the bad behavior of a bunch of 22 to 28-year-olds is now causing a shutdown in bars and restaurants. I mean, it's not the only thing contributing to this shutdown, but obviously it's a part of it.
You know, I think I'm really proud of myself that I haven't let it all hang out. Like, I haven't been a part of these massive parties that have been happening, like, in Federal Hill. Like, the old me
weren't invited, Brian.
No, but the old me would have been at Jose anyway on a Saturday afternoon and just, like, said, all right, let's do this. Come on. Let's all just breathe in each other's faces.
Yeah, we walked past there Saturday, and it was, yesterday. And it was as packed as you would imagine, like indoors, outdoors, crossbar was packed. Every place that could be packed was packed.
I don't know why I follow so many 28-year-old girls I don't know that go to One Star Country Club, but I'm not angry that I do.
Well, I'm angry that you do. You should stop that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I had a crazy summer.
Okay, so before we get to the second half where we talk about national stuff, you guys watch this SNL last night?
I did.
Yes.
First of all, speaking of livid, very livid, that college football essentially preempted it until, what time did it finally come on?
12:30.
Good God.
It felt forever.
It's funny though, because I was just sitting there being like, I'm angry, but I showed up to like the news before this was like a real problem, and I sit down like, oh, you know, this looks like a good game. Number 1 versus number 4, they're both undefeated. Like, it's real tight. This is great. And, like, it still got really great. And then I feel like I would have been way happier if Clemson hadn't shit the bed so insanely. And that's the Brian Levy Sports Minute.
I don't know about either of you, but I don't really watch college football. That was the most college football I've ever watched.
Well, especially on a day where a disputed presidential election is essentially called by the Associated Press, and we're stuck watching 2 colleges play football that we don't fucking care about. And then we have to watch the local news for 30 minutes.
And a lot of people learned what the college football overtime rules were.
Right. I was like, why is it 40 seconds on the clock?
I want to see the Google search like metrics to see how many people Googled it like I did.
Right. Yeah. I was like, if I have to go through this game for another 40 minutes, I'm going to kill myself. I mean, I was already worn out from a long day of getting drunk. And, which, by the way, we got cheesesteaks in honor of Philadelphia for bringing out the vote. And delightful.
I wish I had thought of that. That would have been...
Yeah, it was so good. Oh, God, they were good.
I went to the liquor store for the first time since March, and it was great.
You went to the liquor store?
Yeah, I haven't been into a liquor store since March.
So you're getting Drizzly? How are you getting your liquor?
Well, I haven't ordered anything. I was ordering from Union, like delivery, up until like July or something. But I just haven't been ordering beer. So I either go like the Key or I was getting Union delivered.
Did you go to Drug City?
Yes, I did.
The Disneyland of liquor.
The Disneyland of liquor. So I almost picked up this Woodford Reserve. So they have this Woodford Reserve bottle that has Drug City on it. Like it's like hand-picked by Drug City and has their name branded on it. I almost picked it up, but went a different direction.
Wait, so you're saying this is a Drug City special edition Woodford
Reserve, yes.
Wow. Drug City must do a lot of numbers.
Yeah. They have I think it's Key. Maybe it's another brewery has a like a collab with Drug City that you can only get there. I didn't find it though. Yeah, they have a lot of weird things there.
Yes, they do, because the one time I was there was where we found the Carvel ice cream beers that we did a taste test on this podcast.
Smudgie the whale?
Woof, they were bad.
Is that the whale's name, Smudgie?
No, Fudgy.
Fudgy.
Brian, why are you off video? What are you doing?
Sending a text.
You're not supposed to do that while we're doing a show, dipshit.
Excuse me, I was prepared to correct Casey. Smudgie the whale. It's like Casey grew up in communist Russia, right? It is like, that fan favorite birthday cake character, Smudgie the whale.
I to this day have not had one of those cakes.
Like Casey would go to Dollars, like that's where he would buy all of his birthday cakes at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Or the place in Pikesville my grandmother used to buy off-brand toys, Amazing Savings. And she's like, "Happy birthday, here's your Smudgie the whale cake." It's not Smudgie the whale. It's what's the animal? Let's name some sea life.
Smudgie the manatee.
It's Smudgie the jellyfish. Ooh, careful! His tentacles smudge chocolate all over you.
Gross. Smudgie the fail.
Oh,
there you go. All right. Getting on to SNL, however, Dave Chappelle thought he did a good job in the monologue for sure, but he wasn't in any of the sketches.
There were two sketches that the monologue and the first sketch, those had Dave Chappelle written all over them.
Yeah.
And then everything else just seemed like regular old SNL.
Yeah.
They don't,
except for maybe Weekend Update.
Weekend Update was pretty good. Weekend Update seemed short. The monologue was one of the longest it was 16 minutes. It was one of the longest they've ever done.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that as a sort of bookend to the last time that he was on the show, or not the last time, but the time that he was on when Donald Trump was elected. I was really hoping that they were going to reboot that sketch where it was all the white people like wringing their hands about Hillary Clinton losing in 2016, and Chris Rock shows up and they both do their shtick about like ha 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 white people are dumb. I really, really, really wish they had redone that sketch. My favorite joke was from the monologue where he was talking. He sets it up like, "You remember life before COVID?" And he said, "Oh yeah, this is you think it's going to go one way." He said, "There are mass shootings every week. Yeah,
it's so good to lock up those it's so good we got to lock up those murderous whites." Like that was really fucking funny.
And so Evan, you watched the previous the episode from 4 years ago, like
so did
that
I,
day, right? And you did too? Okay.
Junk.
and he brought up the mass shootings. I thought he was, he brought that up in the last sketch. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
No, and he referenced his and he referenced his monologue from last year, 4 years ago. I thought the whole thing was a great success. I love that he comes out smoking. Really doing one for the home team. Do you know what I did? I told lots and lots of people that I was giving it up to the universe. If Joe Biden won, I would quit smoking. I told too many people to take it back now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll believe it when I see it, Brian.
I have till January 20th, and we're not talking much like 270 electoral votes. We're talking about a path to quitting smoking. We're going to set myself up for success.
Brian starts taking Chantix on the show and starts calling up his various girls that he's dating and curses them out.
You know what? It would be in my sleep,
Right.
with my suicidal thoughts. Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
And your urge to gambling at an 11.
Oh well. My urge to gambling kind of lives at a 9 to begin with. It's because I'm poor that I'm not that I haven't gambled myself into the poor house. Can't do it if you don't got it.
Yeah, that's true. Can't gamble what you don't have. All right, any other topics that we want to cover before we take a break and come back and talk about, the election? I don't know, the future of America.
I mean, the memes were amazing.
Yes, Casey, yesterday on the CTB Fam Zone Extreme, I'm not going to play the sound effect. If you're not a member, look for it on Facebook. Just look it up, CTB Fan Zone Extreme. We did a meme mega thread of all of the delicious, delightful memes that were floating around this past weekend for the election.
And we got lots of response to it.
Yes.
And then we had another post on the Fam Zone that got a lot of response. Our shout outs and shout outs post got lots of responses. 20 some for the shout ups and shout outs, 80s in the 80s for the memes. And I want to take a minute to note that Casey was very drunk, and he decided that he was going to put up an SNL watch along thread, which I thought was great. And I thought Evan had a funny post, and then I had a funny follow-up post. Casey, why'd you delete that post, man? I thought that was going great. And then all of a
sudden, you deleted it? I didn't know you deleted it.
Yeah, I deleted it because you all were just taking shots at me. They're like, "Oh, this is not gonna go well."
Yeah, I think my comment was like, "Oh, sweetie, nobody's gonna comment on this."
I was riding high with everybody commenting on the meme thread, and I
know exactly what was happening, and I was like, "Can't we just do this on our group text?"
And then once after that, I was like, "I'm just gonna kill it."
You know what? So that's our fault, Casey. Sorry we yucked your yum.
Yeah,
we ruined your good time.
Casey got too enthused.
I know. I like an enthusiastic Casey.
Yeah.
I like it when Casey takes that kind of comedy initiative.
We didn't give him credit for posting the Wrap It Up animated GIF from the Chappelle show saying everybody was watching the local news right now.
I was a little disappointed I didn't get more traction on my 69 post, but that was fine.
Yeah, 69 posts tend to be, I don't know, it's like hit or miss for some reason, I
think you can't do it at 12:30. You got you
right.
Can't do it at 11:45.
You got to do it during operating business hours.
3 p.m. on a Tuesday, I think, is optimum 69 post timing.
Yeah, I'm glad we've nailed down the proper time to post to 69.
Can somebody put it in their Google Calendar to remind us at 2:30 on Tuesday?
The optimal time window for posting 69 memes.
Can we do a test? Because what is it come out Wednesday? We're going to see how well it works if we post a 69 meme.
Ooh, I like this idea.
A Tuesday at 3.
Okay.
We're going to post. So when you guys are listening to this, just know you were part of our experiment.
We algorithmed you.
And if you were watching the YouTube, you saw me like tense my hands together.
Yeah.
But barely, because you're just fading in and out because you can't sit still.
Yeah, Brian's phone is not really great with the virtual backgrounds.
Well, yeah, hey, get it together, Apple.
Oh yeah.
No. Let me say nice things about Apple.
Right. Before we take a break, I mean, we have to talk about this. Last week we spoke about one Sean Connery passing on the Rainbow Bridge. This week, now we've got
like a Labrador.
Yeah, now we've got Mr. Alex Trebek has passed.
Come home to me, Trebek.
Yeah.
I would like to tell my Alex Trebek story.
Please do. I was actually going to suggest it.
Jeopardy came to DC to do a series of shows a few years ago, and we got tickets, so we were able to go, and we went with like Reagan and his wife and some other people, and they do audience questions, and I got to ask a question, and I asked, Alex, you've been cameoed in a lot of different movies and television program. Which one is your favorite? And he said, that's a very good question, ma'am. And I said, oh, well, sure. No problem. Not a ma'am. Thank you. And
Brianna Levy.
But then he answered it, and he never really followed up as whether or not he knew that I was a male person of the male persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the time that Alex Trebek called me ma'am. The theory walking out is that he was so annoyed by my pedestrian and unthought through question that he decided to call me a woman.
Okay. I mean, as a Canadian, that doesn't make any sense because they are just incapable of being insulting.
No. You just have to know what they're doing. See, he got away with it because either he made a mistake, he thought I was, Caitlin or something, or he thought that I was a woman, or he was trying to make fun of me.
Well, you are a woman.
I choose to believe that he was making fun of me.
So do we think Ken Jennings is going to be the host then, or
yes.
What are we doing here?
Or Ryan Seacrest.
Seacrest?
No.
Yeah. Could you, I think I know the perfect host of Jeopardy. The former host of Rock and or Roll Jeopardy, Jeff Probst.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Better answer. If you'd allow me, I think I'm going to write this one out. So, dear Micro. Hi.
It's Brian. How are you? Thanks for asking. I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Hi, it's me, Brian. Hi, thanks for it. No. Mark McGrath would be my answer. I think Mark McGrath should be the new. Yeah, it's going to be Ken Jennings. I bet you they told Ken Jennings it was him 5 years ago.
Right.
Before Trebek was dying, they told Ken Jennings it was going to be him.
Look, as soon as you're nominated the greatest of all time, it's like, okay, well, I'm the
What if you're like...
But it's Watson. It's actually IBM's Watson.
Oh, yeah. The computer with the little nucleus graphic on it.
It's your turn. And even the computer is like condescendingly dickish to women. Like,
right.
Like they answer the phone like, wow, Beth really knows her football, huh? Like, all right.
Tell us about your fascinating hobby. That sounds great.
Wow, your pie won a ribbon. Cool. and he somehow like Watson like picks up slang really easily. Like, I don't know why you're such a douche, but welcome to Jeopardy.
I would love it if Watson then, through his iterative AI processes, starts smoking and gets bitter and is like douche, like when somebody gets an answer wrong,
or he goes super alt-right. In 2020, the fake news cuck media elected this man president.
He's a libtard douche.
That's what happens when.
Why don't you do your research?
Yeah.
I can't do it for you.
You're getting all of your info from a libtard bunch of cucks.
If Watson has the whole internet inside of him, like I assume he does, I don't need to know. I don't need to know how he works.
That's Watson's brain.
Right. If his brain's the internet, then why isn't Watson like a QAnon believer? What if Watson is...
It's not the entire internet. That's not how Watson works.
Casey, you don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's a question of the percentage of information that is overwhelming the flat earther versus round earther information that's on the internet. So basically, it's a majority wins in terms of Watson's brain.
What if we made like Watson watch like 100 hours of The Simpsons? And could he write a Simpsons episode?
I'm willing to bet he could.
I have a question. I have a follow-up. I've begun to think that maybe those internet posts where they say, I made an AI watch 80 hours of Hell's Kitchen and here's an episode, they're not real, are they?
They might not be. It's just a bunch of fake shit that people wrote that is very funny. The AI generated Trump speech that was hysterically funny that I remember reading a while ago, or even the video that was posted to the CTB Fam Zone Extreme of the AI. Yes, it was the AI generated all-star video by Smash Mouth. You know, because we love Steve from Smash Mouth.
Might be his name.
Yep. No, it's Steve. It's forever Steve.
It's Steve from Smash Mouth. Get it right. You get to say the whole thing.
It's what it says on his driver's license.
Steve from Smash Mouth.
It's a good thing we think. It's a good thing we think we're so funny.
Oh man, ooh, who else would? All right, now it is time to take a break, and it is time to celebrate.
Give me the tray.
The
Dance
internet.
to the music.
Yes, the internet sensation spreading 92Q and Cyber Show.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Shoutouts is the part of the show in which we aren't going to take a break, in which we give mad props, aka shoutouts to persons, places, and things that are giving us jollies and improving our quality of life. Casey, I know we've got at least a few from the Fam Zone on Facebook.
We'll start with Zach E-Golf, Electric Golf. Shout out to Brian for his transformation. He was looking svelte in last week's episode. Keep up the good work. I'm going to give a preemptive shut up to Zach because now you just blown up Brian's ego and we're going to have to deal with it.
First of all, Casey, I'm not going to lie to you, it's at fucking max capacity these days. Secondly, I will say that Zach continually posts videos of his own working out and stuff, and it's very cool, and I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Yeah, if I were to say one thing about Zach, kudos to him for leaving a comment on our YouTube channel, because there are like 2 people that do that. But also, and he's been putting out video content for quite some time.
I think he gets free shit. Like, he's more successful at this than we are.
No. He doesn't get free shit. He gets paid shit.
Oh, well.
He gets paid.
Well, maybe I should try to get into some of that exerciser influencer money. I don't want to actually have to exercise. I like riding my bike.
Brian, look, if you want to do a workout video featuring Brian and Shakeology for the CTB YouTube channel, I will gladly upload it.
It's
just Brian with a shake weight.
No, it's not Shakeology is a drink. It's just me with a chocolate milkshake. Extra butter, please.
Yeah, all the butter.
No, actually, I think we're onto something. It's Brian going to the gym on walking on the treadmill while eating the McRib and a chocolate shake.
Well, here's the thing. I had McDonald's last night before SNL. I think what I might have to do is not have any more McDonald's until December 2nd.
Why that date?
Oh, please. It's the return of the McRib.
Right. Well, I needed to make you say it. All right, what else we got from the fans?
It's McRib Returns. There are 2 villains in this one. Danny DeVito is really weird about it.
So Zach
it's a Batman
also
Returns joke.
Zach also says, shout out to YouTube episodes. And shout out to America for doing the right thing.
Did it, though? A lot of Americans did not do the right thing.
That's why that pizza place had to go.
That's right.
Shout out to the bumper crop of memes this election generated. Evan, you said shout out to the press conference, which I believe was, Wednesday?
Wednesday or Thursday, yeah. Donald Trump's press conference is my shout out. It was the most hysterically bad thing I've ever seen. I mean, wow, pathetic. Just flailing at air. Just tantrum.
The one Thursday night was that's the one, I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't see him on Tuesday, but the one Thursday night where he's just like reading from a piece of paper, except when he says whatever he wants for like 3 minutes, was amazing.
It was great. Great. Wonderful.
And Christy says, shout out to Kamala's beautiful white suit, champagne, and conservative tears.
Very good. Anything else from the fan zone?
Nope. That's it.
No. Okay, well, I already did my shout out, so what's your shout out, Brian the Levy?
I think my shout out is to the fact that it really seems like the mechanism of government isn't going to let Donald Trump just like say, hey, by the way, I'm still president. Like, it actually seems like they're just rolling right along. Like, they're not
bye, Felicia.
They're like, yeah, I don't trust them or anything, but it's like really nice that, that it seems like he's going to go away. I'll talk about this later.
Okay. Casey, what's your shout out this week?
I guess SNL. That was a good. We already talked about it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I tweeted something to the effect of SNL is what we need tonight. We don't need this goddamn college football bullshit. So
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along.
Unless you're Brian Levy, who loves college football.
Yeah, college football is Brian Levy's jam.
Absolutely.
I've never heard you mention college football once.
What are you talking about? He talks about it all the time on this podcast, nonstop.
Just when Casey's not around.
Every time somebody asks me what's Brian like, I say he is just a fanatic for college football. He can't stop talking about college football. College football is in his veins, constantly speaking about college football.
Everyone knows that Evan loves birds, and I love college football.
Yep.
Evan does love birds.
Oh man, can't stop talking about birds.
Can't stop talking about birds.
I never shut up about birds.
Dude, when I sold my car, I still had the whatever that bird was in my car.
It's surprising. Most people think that CTB stands for
City That Birds?
City That Breeds, but really it stands for College Football Talking Birds.
Oh, yeah.
College Talk is silent. The F is silent. It's CTFB.
I'll get the logo modified so that we can...
Hey, welcome back to another College Football Talking Bird show. Hey, you know what birds like? Football.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's so many bird mascots in football, generally speaking, and my expertise in birds combined with your love of college football, this is going to be a fantastic venture.
And every year we, much like the Memorial Day Jerry Lewis telethon, where he raised money for sick kids or something, we raise money for birds injured by
football
skydiving. No, blue painted football fields.
Yes. Exactly.
They think it's water and they just slam into it.
Hey.
It's hilarious. Have you ever seen those videos? They're great.
My name is Evan the Mayor, and I just want to tell you, every year, tens of birds are injured by flying into bright blue football stadium field stadiums. And it goes unreported by the lamestream media, and we need to bring attention to this crisis. House sparrows everywhere are dying by hitting walls that are colored blue because they think it's the air sky. So please join me on our GoFundMe entitled College Football Bird Rescue Fund.
I can take that.
The fact that you remember the words from that Vitamin C song disturbs me.
So we talk all night about the rest of our lives. Where will we be when we turn 25? Keep thinking this will never end. You say that you love me, but did you pretend?
All right, the College Football Bird Fund is being established right now. We will register that URL. But in the meantime,
we should.
Hey, let's get to some election talk. Yay!
It happened.
It happened.
It did.
I kind of wanted to touch on this idea that this is kind of a minor victory that Joe Biden is probably going to be president. Republicans still kind of rule the world in terms of what's going on in America right now. They've got the
Georgia's the next big battleground.
Yes, I mean, but the Republic they've got the Supreme Court. They still have the Senate. There is a runoff. They might lose the Senate, but at the same time, like, Trumpism has thoroughly indoctrinated enough people in the United States that it's not going anywhere. Trump's not going anywhere. His son's not going anywhere. His son's girlfriend is not going anywhere. That brand of conspiracy theory, right-wing stuff is not going anywhere. I think it's only going to get worse, especially when Biden is president, because you're going to start seeing all sorts of Hunter Biden stuff coming out of the woodwork about how he's a pedophile, or Joe Biden's a pedophile, or his wife's a pedophile, or something to whatever length they need to go to convince people that all Democrats are evil.
Okay, I would agree with you.
Okay.
I think what's going to happen is give him a week out of office, and he will manage to get banned from Twitter and Facebook. And now, granted, there's still going to be a segment of the population that's going to point to that as evidence of some conspiracy. But I think with him being out of office, you're going to shed a percentage of that following. And he's going to do something dumb. Like, him and his family are just going to do something dumb, get kicked off of social media, and I don't think you're going to hear a whole lot.
Well, I mean, there are the impending lawsuits, which are going to take up a lot of his time, but I just can't help but disagree. If it's not him, it'll be somebody else. It's just going to – this QAnon sort of whack job conspiracy theory stuff is going to continue to permeate the social media landscape until they figure out a way to stomp it out, and I don't think they ever will.
And here's the truth. Here's why, and I think this is one of the frightening things behind the idea that nobody's fighting for Trump to stay president is that they just don't need him anymore.
Yeah, no, they don't. Need him. He fulfilled his usefulness. Like, they got the Supreme Court. They've got what they need. They don't need to fucking worry about anything for the next 2 years.
All their wackadoo ideas are legitimized. Like, they just don't need them.
Yes, and all anyone needs to do is wait for the economy, the recession to really set in terms of COVID. If it will, I hope it doesn't. But if it does, then all they'll do is blame Joe Biden for it, and they'll blame the deficit on the Democrat in office, as is always the fucking playbook maneuver, which is dumb. I don't understand how people don't understand why it's such bullshit.
They're already starting to harp on the deficit again because it's not like it mattered for the past 4 years.
Oh, of course not.
And so, but now all of a sudden it's we need to focus on the deficit. The deficit's bad.
Pay attention to the talking points on Fox News in the next 3 months. As soon as Joe Biden takes office, they're going to start talking about the deficit, as if it's his doing.
I think the one thing that if he stays true to this, because I remember Biden saying that he only planned to do one term. He very likely is going to be a one-term president.
Right.
If he stays true to that, I think that could be, a big asset because he can govern without the fear of like, what if what do I need to do to get reelected? Like he can actually do some things.
No, that's true.
That
If he's not concerned with re-election, then maybe, operating without fear in that way, he can do whatever he thinks he needs to do. I think my concern is like, well, who's after him? If it's going to be Kamala Harris, then that's one thing. But if we're handing off the keys to the
Stacey Abrams,
no, she's great too. But I'm saying like the more progressive arm of the Democratic Party that are at this point the reason why Democrats are loathed, right?
Yeah, you've got another can of worms.
You've got your like AOCs and stuff that people just absolutely are violently opposed to them because they've got these, very radical ideas, which when you actually listen to them talk about it, it's not that bad. But, the general public really, really, really is very sort of alarmed at the actual socialism that they are talking about, like universal housing, universal health care, universal child care, universal this and that and the other. And what
UBI?
Yeah, well, UBI, I don't care. I mean, like, look, if we taxed Amazon, if they paid any taxes whatsoever, every American in the United States could get a fucking check for $10, and it would not affect their bottom line whatsoever. UBI does not faze me whatsoever because we have never
it doesn't
had a
faze you, but the people who vote for Trump are like, oh, that's communism, that's socialism.
Of course, because the people that constantly chime in about what is and is not socialism never address the fact that we already have elements of socialism in our lives. It's a hybrid
corporate
system.
Welfare.
Sure. Corporate welfare, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, on and on and on.
I was reading something earlier today, and I didn't pay too much attention to Yang, during his run. But people were kind of talking him up because basically they were arguing that he takes some of these ideas that people like AOC talk about and he presents it in more of economic terms instead of like, everybody, healthcare is a right and this and that. And he's like, no, like if you look at the numbers, like this is a net gain for everybody. You can spend the money, but the return on investment is better.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see kind of what he does.
That's what the progressive left does wrong, is they only sort of frame things in terms of emotion and reaction. They don't frame things in terms of numbers. That's really all people care about right now is how much money am I going to have in my pocket? How much money you're taking out of my paycheck? If Andrew Yang gets up there and starts talking about how, Amazon, Google, and all these other tech companies are basically monetizing data that you're providing them with nothing in return for you other than the fact that you're using their service, and he can somehow convince Congress to get them to shell out any amount of money, everything needs to be a carrot, not a stick. What Trump did really wrong in terms of getting, reshoring American manufacturing was penalizing companies that are already doing business with China in terms of, the tariffs. We need to incentivize companies to come back to America. I don't understand why this is such a problem. Why it's not even a Democrat or a Republican thing. It's just like common fucking sense. It's the easiest answer of all time. Like,
we should also make them pay their taxes.
Yes, and they should pay their taxes. I don't understand why, Obama in his first term was like, yeah, we're going to close these corporate loopholes. Couldn't do fucking shit for 8 years. Nothing. Couldn't do anything.
Well, I mean, is that all his fault though?
No, of course not. No, it's never the president's fault. It's just everything that we've got set up in terms of lobbyists, in terms of the system that we've built as to why.
When I say that is like, he may have had good intentions, but then he was also stuck in dealing with Republicans that wouldn't pass anything.
Right. But
and it's partially why we're in the situation we're in now is because, they couldn't get anything done. So they're like, okay, well, let's get rid of the reduce it so we only need a majority to confirm judges and stuff. And now look where we're at.
Yeah, Supreme Court stuff's over my head. I can't speak to the future of abortion and other issues of that nature. But in terms of like healing the divide and whatnot after this election, I don't see it going any other way than the way that it's been going. There is no chance in my mind that Joe Biden in and of himself is going to be this great healer. I would love to see that happen. I would love for people to get back to, having actual dialogue. But with things the way they are in social media and they have been for the past 10 to 15 years, there is no honest dialogue. There's no discourse that is going to go in a proper direction, regardless of who's president and the positive vibes he's throwing out there. I don't see this going well. I think Joe Biden's going to have a really, really hard time as president. And, in 4 years, I am a little nervous to see who's going to run on both sides. Like if we've got like a Dan Crenshaw running on the Republican side, he's an honorable guy. He talks like a normal human being. But if we've got Don Jr. or something like that, and on the Democrat side, if we've got Kamala Harris, I don't know. It might be better than an AOC who's too young to run for president. But I think inexorably the future is going to, on the left, is going to keep going in that direction as young people become more and more activated and interested in politics in general. You guys hear that?
What'd you break, Hannah?
A little breaking glass. This is
a family program.
This is like the MSNBC moment when the guy's cat comes in and licks its butthole. Any hoodle. Yeah, I think, as old people can, continue to die off, like the sphere is just going to continue going more to the left, and people
ever a generation of people been so excited for their parents to die?
For real. But even myself, who I'm 40-ish, and I'm looking at myself and saying I'm firmly moderate in terms of a lot of things. Like, I just don't think universal housing is possible. I don't think healthcare is possible. It's just a matter of writing checks. But anything that involves building stuff, I don't know that the government's capable of doing any of it. And I think a lot of people put too much faith in government in terms of how to get these things done. What do you guys think?
I just don't think we have any choice. I've talked often as to how I consider Star Trek to be a documentary. Mm-hmm. If we're not trying to eliminate all wars and poverty, what are we doing? So whatever we got to do, let's just do that.
Yeah, I also get irritated when the quote forever wars get laid at the table of like Democrats, Republicans, etc. It's like, the forever wars that we're in right now were all started during the George W. Bush era. That is undeniable. And Donald Trump had his entire tenure right now to do something about those. And
yeah, there's an interesting, I don't know if you listened to or read or listened to either of the Bob Woodward books. In the first one, there's quite a bit where they talk about Afghanistan. That's interesting. Basically, like, Trump wanted to get out and kind of got talked into staying.
I can't possibly imagine that it was any different with Obama either.
Yeah, exactly. And for good reason too. Like, we started pulling out of the region, and then you have stuff like ISIS come into play. So it's complicated, and people smarter than us haven't figured it out yet. So
right, but I also think that as we move away from our dependence on these regions for whatever natural resources we're relying on them for. Afghanistan has basically nothing. I think the only reason we're there now is to prevent, like, ISIS or something to that effect. But, you know, in the absence of that, it's like the philosophical question is, are we just doing this to prevent these caliphates and things from killing these people that most Americans don't even fucking care about? Like, they don't know why we're there. They don't care. Brian, what do you think?
I am just very. I just don't think any of this is over. I think it all just continues. I think it all just keeps getting worse, and things keep just like the pit. The pit is still there. We're not out of the pit. They're just still standing over it, yelling at us about, like, you know, eventually the Republicans are like, you know, puts lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again, America. And then we got Amy Comey back. I just hate everything. I still just hate everything.
Yeah. There's a lot of work to do still, but at least, you know, for one day, it felt all right.
Yeah. Saturday was a good day. It felt good. I don't know.
I didn't even have to use my AK.
It was also very fun to see all the videos of, like, you know, the various cities celebrating peacefully.
Was it SNL that they said, or was it some meme that I saw that they said, if people are celebrating you losing, like the Death Star, you've certainly made some choices.
Yeah, it was definitely a yub-nub situation. Look, I don't like it when 10 million people are out in the streets, but at least most of them were wearing
during
masks.
A pandemic.
Yeah, at least most of them were wearing masks. I'm
Except
sure
except at the Notre Dame game.
All of the Fox News talking heads will certainly point out the fact that there were tons of people and nobody gave a fuck. But, you know, like, meanwhile, and this is a valid point, meanwhile, all of these restaurants are getting shut down in Baltimore City. That's very hypocritical. That if we're going to allow people to protest and we're going to allow people to celebrate in the streets, but we can't let a bar that doesn't serve food to be open, we're doing something wrong. And that
everything sucks.
So we neglected to talk about something very important.
Yes.
And that's the fact that in an apparent error, the Rudy Giuliani held Four Seasons.
See, Casey, that's what you think. Because my shout out was really going to be a shout out to Four Seasons Total Landscape in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we can do a couple minutes on this. Because, it's just the unending train of, like, dumb fucking mistakes that that this squad of people continue to make. But it was so...
What a bunch of goons.
It was so hilarious. Yeah, I mean...
They get goons.
How do you get that wrong?
Did they get it wrong, or did they get rejected from the actual Four Seasons? And then they were like, we got to find a business that's called Four Seasons so we don't look like we got rejected.
Casey,
no, because it's too serendipitous for them that there is another Four Seasons that exists for them to get it that right. This has to be a mistake. This just has to be a mistake. I bet you they used the fucking Yellow Pages.
I can't.
They went to yellowpages.com. They typed in Four Seasons, and that's what spit out at them. They didn't even Google it. They used yellowpages.com.
But as soon as they got there, the people that had all the equipment are like, should we just set up here? And was Rudy Giuliani on the phone? Like, wait, it's not a hotel. Like, what was that? What was that scene like?
Who knows? I hate them so much. I'm so glad that they're gone. It's like wop, 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 wop. They're just running around like this forklift with the Benny Hill music going. You know, trying to grab him by the pussy, just like Benny Hill. Bop, 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 bop,
were there girls in bikinis there?
Oh my God, there were card girls. There were ring girls.
Wait, were they in bikinis or were they in camisoles?
They were in the lingerie with that, like, you clip on with the strings.
The high thong back.
The strings.
Okay. All right.
And that's the election.
I was gonna say. Before Brian gets an election, it's an erection. It's time to get a little angry. Time to get a little venti.
That's Four Seasons Total Landscaping, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 90078.
Time to get a little pissed offy. Time to go right ahead and tell everyone to shut up.
We gonna let the band deal with this.
Hey, it's the end of the show in which we... God, there's a bug in front of me. The end of the show in which we tell persons, places, and things that are lowering our quality of life and deproving it a hearty, proverbial, or literal shut up. Casey, I know we've got at least a few from the Fam Zone.
Yeah, we have three. Bobby Dirk says, "Shut up, Jack Young. Guess you're so butthurt about not winning the election. You're going to sign a death warrant for all of the city's bars and restaurants."
Yes, as we addressed on this podcast.
Keisha says, "Shut up to Mayor Jack Young for that shady deal you did with the incinerator." Which we also talked about, I believe.
Did we, or was that off show?
I can't remember.
Yeah, the 10-year contract.
No
okay,
bid
yeah,
contract
we got it.
for the incinerator deal for 10 years.
Okay.
And then Zach Electric Golf says, "Shut up to pollsters for sucking."
Yeah, I'd like to double down on that. Let's never rely on polling data ever again. It just doesn't work at all. Like Biden ahead by 17 points, and he's barely ahead by 3 in the popular vote. Fuck.
Okay.
What was that, Casey?
Then that's it. Okay.
Okay. Is that it?
From the Fam Zone. That's it from the Fam Zone, yeah.
That's it from the Fam Zone. Brian, do you have any shut-ups?
My shut up, it would be to Facebook Marketplace. I just wish that when you say to someone, "Hey, I'll see you at 11," they say "cool," and then you text them at 9 and they're like, "So here's the actual story." I just wish that they would just say, "Yeah, come on over. Get this thing."
Okay. My shut up this week is to, I don't know, everyone, let's just say everyone, who is ascertaining that this election is somehow fraudulent. The amount of work it would take for the Democrats to steal this election is so fucking monumental, you couldn't possibly imagine it. Imagine it 9/11 times 25. Every single state would have to coordinate. All of the people voting, counting the votes would have to coordinate. All of them would have to be Democrats. I don't think they all are. And also, if the goal were to sweep the entire election fraudulently, we would have won the Senate. And we didn't.
There's still time.
Still time. Whatever. My point stands. There's absolutely no way. Look, here's why conspiracy theories are dumb as shit. Because they rely on human intelligence to coordinate on a mass scale. That just doesn't happen.
I always say that the government, because everybody thinks that House of Cards is the real one and Veep isn't. And it's all very much closer to Veep than it ever has been to House of Cards.
Yeah, I work for the government, and I interact with people who work for the government.
Oh, I forgot to say this week, thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you. And I can tell you for certain, the deep state, it does not exist. You would have to have very many, very intelligent people coordinating these efforts, and we just don't have that kind of brain power. And that has been...
I'll double down on what you just said.
Go for it, Casey.
And add on people who are easily misled by really dumb articles and just don't bother like double checking clearly fake stories.
That has been Shut Ups. But yes, Casey, you're absolutely correct. And I lay all of this at the feet of social media. People just read the headline and they don't check, they don't verify, they don't do anything, they don't read, they don't fucking do shit. And then they just argue over a headline without verifying any kind of facts. It makes us dumber. We're dumber. We're all dumber. Shut up to being dumber. Guys, we did it.
Great job.
Episode 336 of the CTB show. Brian, you were lounging the entire time with your headphones on. Barely visible on Zoom.
I had a great time.
I'm sure you did.
This is a wonderful way to podcast.
It's very fun. But if I were to give you an iota of advice, if we're going to be posting these things to YouTube, as we do, maybe don't lounge around in your pajamas.
This is my active gear. Thank you very much. This is athleisure. These are sweatpants from the swankiest of boutiques.
Boutiques?
No.
Juicy Couture.
No, it's Target.
Target.
Arche.
Honestly, I don't even know where these sweatpants came from. I've had them for
a
very long time.
All right, anyway. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. Thank you very much for being a friend. Thank you very much for being a fan. Thank you very much for watching Brian's foot.
I was waving bye.
Honestly, nobody watches the full-length video on YouTube, so no one's ever going to see Brian's foot. Have a great day. And a better tomorrow!